Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And today's show is sponsored by the Pilsner House and Beer Garden. Go visit our friends at 1422 Grand Street. You have to try their new brunch items. You have to try their awesome ribs. You have to, of course, indulge in your beers and have a great time as well. And we're also sponsored by Longshot Pistol and Rifle, Secaucus, New Jersey, providing responsible CCW training only to responsible owners. Visit their huge indoor training center and full-service gun store. Start your CCW training today. Longshot Secaucus, and a person that's always giving us a shot at everything that she talks about is, of course, Daria Peace of At Hoboken Eats. I need a breath, Daria. So how are you?
The intros are always the best. I love them. I wait for them every time, every week. I'm like, what's he going to say now?
Exactly.
I love it. They never get old.
You give us a shot of energy, I wanted to say. I kind of messed up the intro.
It's okay. Listen, I'm shot of anything. I'm good.
Exactly. So, Daria, the last time we were on, we spoke about your trip to St. Louis.
Yes.
Again, we're bringing back your whole Places Insider.
Yes. We've been on the move recently.
On the move. And I have to tell you, when you and I were texting, because we do talk off camera, believe it or not.
We are friends, guys.
We
are
a little
friends.
bit. Exactly. Matt, don't be jealous. I swear it's all business. But when we were talking off camera through text, I said, New London? And you're like, yeah, it's in New Hampshire. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
New London, New Hampshire.
Yep.
Talk to me.
It's funny because it's a beautiful little town in New Hampshire, and it's a place that I've been going to since my mom was pregnant with me, honestly.
Wow.
I've been going every single year. I've made it a point to go. My mom and I always go up. My aunt and uncle had a house. It's called Pleasant Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a house in a lake town. They ended up probably 15, 20 years ago, building a beautiful home right on the lake. And we would just go up every year to spend time with them. My cousins would be there. And, we started spending Thanksgivings there. So we really made it like this beautiful place to go visit. It's very near and dear to my heart. And I absolutely love it. And it's a cute little quaint town too, that has like a very small little downtown that has its cute little shops that have been there forever. It has its little like red play barn. That's all the local kids that are there for the summer end up doing, a play from like a Broadway musical type show. There's bars and restaurants that we made sure we hit all the same ones every time we go back. So it's a cute little place. And it's about an hour-ish from Dartmouth area.
Okay. So you fly into Dartmouth when you go up there?
No,
or?
we drive.
Oh, you drive?
We drive. Yeah.
Wow.
So we just drive right to Dartmouth. Because Dartmouth's in New Hampshire.
Right, of course, yeah.
So we would drive there, and that's where you have some of your like very fun shopping. So we'd always do a little back to school shopping, and there's like, again, a little downtown, more bars and restaurants. And Dartmouth is just beautiful. There was a time where I thought I was going to get into Dartmouth, so I applied.
Whoa.
But yeah, I
then
think
you
it's
could've
Ivy
stayed at
League.
the house.
I think it's Ivy League. I think that was never going to happen.
Daria, you're the brightest person on the show. So, that says a lot if this was the Pulse University.
Yeah,
You know what
true,
I mean?
true.
Exactly. But then she went to Monmouth down the Jersey Shore. There you go. There's the fist bump. I love it.
That's going to be a zoom in.
So, without a doubt it is. So, Daria, I'm always a fan of these small, quaint towns because I just feel like the people are so pleasant. Yeah. I visited Maine several times, and this is
same vibe.
The New England.
Yes.
This is real New England. I don't really call Boston New England.
We love Boston, though.
I love Boston
we
too.
Do love
don't
Boston.
Get me wrong. But I just feel like this is the heart of the niceness because they only really get 2.5 months of good weather up there. And then it gets cold and they're in their houses the whole time.
Yep.
No?
There is some skiing around there. We used to go up to Sunapee is right probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes away, and we would go up there and go skiing in the winter too.
That's phenomenal.
It's got like great location. It's awesome.
Now, and when you think about any type of New England area, whether that's Maine, like I mentioned, or Vermont or New Hampshire, and you think about the cuisine there.
Yes.
The first thing that comes to my mind is actually seafood, but I could be wrong about New Hampshire.
Interesting. I have not experienced some seafood in New London. We go out and we're getting burgers and wings. We're going to the pubs. There's this place called Pizza Chef that is, it's just this little pizza place there. It's probably the only place that exists. And I've been getting the pizza from there since I can literally remember. It's probably the longest standing pizza place. I was actually there last weekend and picked up Pizza Chef again. So we're going on like a 25-year run with Pizza Chef. And it's just like little places like that have been there forever. You have the kids who are in town for the summer, work it all 3-4 months long. And there's like the cute little breakfast places too.
Of course. That's the other thing I was going to say that comes to mind when I think about New Hampshire is like the bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast.
Right,
yep.
right. Because I'm sure you have all these colonial houses and so on and so forth.
Beautiful.
So now I'm sure a lot of these places you can get a good breakfast.
You can get an amazing breakfast. There's times where there's two that we love, Tucker's and Blackwater Junction, Black River Junction, and we go to them all the time. All the time, in and out. They know my aunt's order by heart at this point. Like it's an in and out job, and they know you, they love you, they want you to come back, and they give you, like I said, in and out in 15 minutes basically. So it's fun. And then there's another place that we like to go to called the Flying Goose Pub.
The Flying
Goose. So
you love all these names, huh?
I do, and it's a brewery, but like restaurant. So we go there. I ended up bringing Matt up there. We went in 20-ish, and we just had a good time outside with some good beer and some nachos. We love our nachos.
So I was going to say nachos again. Yeah, there's a common theme here, Daria. Every week it's liquor and nachos.
What else do you need when you're on vacation? I don't care what anybody says, and I will take anybody who follows me. If you have a recipe, nobody can make nachos at home like you can get at a restaurant. That is my hot take. That is my biggest opinion. I don't care how good of a cook you are. It's never going to be, for some reason, I don't know, they put something in the nachos at restaurants. They're just so good.
They are.
They're good.
Listen, you're not getting a complaint from me.
I get worked up.
Now I'm on this like health kick here, and I do got to give a quick shout out to because I know you've given a shout out to your personal trainer. I got to give a shout out to my personal trainer, Mr. Caputo from Caputo Fitness. Chris, I love you, and thanks for making me look this good. Looking
good,
right?
looking good,
little
looking
modest
good.
There, a little modest. Exactly. But now you got to give a shout out to your trainer too. Now, really quick.
John P. Fitness, Don't Stop Crying Studios down on First and Monroe, the corner. Literally the greatest man in Hoboken. We love him forever.
All right, yeah, Chris, I don't have all that. He just comes to my apartment building. Sorry, buddy. All right, so let's go back to the topic at hand here.
Back to the topic at hand.
So back to New London. You said that you visited there probably more than a handful of times, I'm assuming.
I have been there for the last 31 years. Oh, yeah, no, literally.
So this is like a home away from home.
This is a home away from home. And like I can barely make my way through Wayne, where I grew up. I could figure out anywhere I am in New London just because I've been there so many times.
Exactly. All right. For a person like me, and I'm sure a lot of people at home who's never been to New London, you mentioned some of the restaurants there, but we mentioned how the people are just super, super friendly and so on and so forth. Why else should they go up there? You
know what you should do, though, if you're going to go? Think Lake George vibes a little bit.
Oh, love Lake George.
Things close early.
Okay.
Not a ton of restaurants. You're going to go and you're going to get your breakfast. There's going to be food for you to pick up and bring home. But you're really there to enjoy the lake and the hiking. There's all of that there.
And you can go in the winter, too.
You can go in the winter. There's so much to do there. You get a house with your friends, with your family. You stock up on all the groceries. And you go to the bar a couple times, but you're going to be back home drinking at the house or relaxing at the house at night. And you're getting ready to go to the beach again the next day.
Oh.
It's just that it's a simple life. It's a beautiful life, and it's just very fun. If you want to go to Dartmouth for the day, though, I will say I've done a lot of damage money-wise in Dartmouth area.
Yeah, and apparently she didn't get into the university there. But a different story for a different time. But I like it's a sweet life, you say. In Italian, we say la dolce vita.
La dolce vita.
Absolutely. See? There's the delucia coming
I am
out.
Italian.
Exactly. It's no longer just peace. All right, Daria. I'm not even going to ask you if you'll ever go back to New London because you are, obviously.
I was just there last week, and I will be back again.
I appreciate you coming on again this week. Thank you for giving us your knowledge about New London, New Hampshire. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the future
Thanks for having me. I'm happy I got to share my favorite place.
Exactly. Thanks again. Appreciate it. All right, folks. We will be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience and therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host with the most, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, on this episode and segment of The Pulse with Peter B. And I know you there in TV land are glad that Peter B is not on this segment. And I'm so happy right now to have with me a guest as wonderful as the awesome Kevin, the owner of Long Shot Pistol and Rifle, Secaucus, New Jersey. How the heck you doing?
Hey, Josh, how are you?
I'm thrilled.
I'm excited to be here. We're going to talk about leagues, clubs, and memberships.
So... Well, this is so much information. I've only ever gone to this wonderful establishment to rent firearms, and I had a great time. What are these leagues?
Leagues are awesome. I always say, make friends, shoot more, get better faster. So leagues are, think of it as a bowling league, right? In a bowling league, you're going to have the guys who have the brand new ball. You can't talk to them. They have the $500 shoes, and they're so into it, and they don't want to be talked. They're just focused, right? Then you have the rest of us that are eating cheese fries, having buds, and maybe bowling a frame or two, right? So that's kind of what you have here, right? So you've got people who come shoot, who are there for the competition, who are totally psyched and focused and dialed into it. And you have everybody else who comes and are just, showing each other, I got a brand new gun, I have a brand new sight, and they're just being social and they're getting together to shoot. And they're getting together more often, right? Because a lot of times, I'm going to shoot with my wife, but she can't come today. I'm going to shoot with my friend, but he can't come today. But if you're part of a league and you're part of a club, you can always go and shoot. You have somebody to shoot with. So we've got a couple of different leagues. We've got a few different leagues going on. We've got the Glock Sports League, as the name would imply. It's for people who own Glocks. We have the Open League. That's open to any brand, maker, model of firearm or pistol, excuse me.
Does that include revolvers or just
It does.
semi-auto?
You can shoot revolvers. You can shoot semi-auto. Anything from a 22 caliber and 44 Magnum. No 50 Desert Eagles. Sorry, guys.
That's quite a range from a 22, which is like the tiniest bullet, to
Right.
44, which is much bigger. I mean, that's still a big range.
It's the Dirty Harry gun. That's right. So leagues are awesome. We have leagues that are defensive pistol leagues. That's a little bit for the more of the advanced guys. The first couple of leagues are stationary shooting. The next ones are if you've had some holster training, you've trained with us or other places, and you've taken some qualifications, and we've seen how you can shoot. Well, then you can move and shoot with us. We call that running and gunning. And we've got leagues like the IDPA, which is the International Defense Pistol Association. We have the USPSA, and we're hosting those kinds of matches here. So if you're a member here and you train here, you get some home court advantage. You can do some qualification runs, and it's just a lot of fun. It's just cool stuff.
That sounds really cool. Clarifying question. When
Yep.
you said holster, you mean like they can take it out from their holster and shoot like if it was on their hip?
That's correct. So you can have it in your hip, you can have it in your appendix in the front. As long as we certified you that you're safe and we put you through a qualification exam, you can come and train with the team. You can come and train with the league, and you can run and gun inside the base. Correct.
Oh, very, very cool. Because I know, with me, as my renting experience, you just have it down. I mean, great time. It's not just, but you have it down on the little table, always the barrel facing downrange. And but then again, I'm just a renter.
Right. It's stationary shooting for people who want to come in and have an experience. But the leagues are more for, enthusiasts, people who own their own guns and who want to just start training and getting a lot better. Mm-hmm. Most of these people are also, might as well say, they're members, right? So you're not in the league unless you own your own gun and you're a member, because it becomes too expensive to come in and pay for range time if you're not a member. So you become a member, you get yourself a gun that you want to train with, and you come in, make some friends, and start putting yourself through these wonderful classes and wonderful leagues.
Now, what's the difference between the leagues and I think you mentioned clubs before?
Right. So we've got a couple of different clubs here. We have some clubs that are female driven, right? So these are women who they say leave the slouch on the couch, girls for guns, that kind of thing. And some of them are just into, being pro-feminine and pro-women. Some of them just don't want to deal with their husbands at home, to be quite honest. And they just come in and hang out. There are girl leagues, girl clubs, excuse me. Then there are other, gender agnostic pistol shooting clubs, like the Tactical Pistol Club. It's called the Shooters Club. And they're a little bit more serious. You have to apply to get in. They'll do an evaluation. They may or may not admit you. And they let people in. The next time they're letting people in is next January, so January of 2023. So we've got some clubs that are a little bit easier to get into, some clubs that are a little more advanced and a little bit more focused. But in general, it's just a lot of fun. These are people who are like-minded, who are interested in getting better, who are interested in making friends. And these clubs will get on a bus and we'll go out to Pennsylvania and shoot full auto and do training with other, instructors, right? So our philosophy is you can learn something from anyone. So, somebody will say, I heard this is a good trainer out in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. We'll get on a bus and we'll go out there. We'll bring 30 people out there, and we'll just go out and train out there.
Well, actually, it's clubs are how I discovered your place.
Oh.
The German Shooting Club. My friends.
Oh.
We're
Schützenchor.
I just call it the German Shooting Club because they're German name. But I'm Jewish and they're super nice. I swear to God. I make a lot of jokes at their expense. But they told me about this place, and it's a wonderful little club for competition 22s. And then, met the wonderful staff and the great owner. And, I think it's been a match made in heaven.
Schützen actually was our first club here. I should have led with that.
No way,
segue.
really?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
We
that.
have their cabinet outside, which has their trophies and their curios since 1857. So that club has been around for 170 years. They're doing a fantastic job, and they're really great and really competitive. And yes, they're all German.
But they're accepting. Now, in terms of membership, like if someone wants to, I've been here, 3
or 4 times shooting in the last few months, right?
Yeah, and I just come in as a renter. But what's the benefit for me if I join?
Well, we have renters. We have a renters membership, but the most popular is the bring your own gun membership, right? So these are people who own guns. There are 3. Everybody gets a little bit of value from these memberships differently. One of the ways, there are 3 major ways. One is that you can come in and shoot unlimited hours with some limitations. So if you're here on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock and you bring a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun, and you shoot an hour with your pistol and you want to keep on shooting, you can keep on shooting if there's nobody online behind you. We just say start your next hour, and once you start your next hour, we'll let you keep on shooting. Let's say you shot 2 hours and now you want to shoot a third hour, but there's somebody online. Well, you got to let me make some money, pack up, get back in line, and you can come through again, and you can shoot for another hour. On the weekends, all the members shoot from 9:30 to 12:30 in the afternoon. And then once again, all the different people come in from New York and different places, the bucket listers who want an experience. They've never touched a gun before. And the members who are much more experienced, they don't want to be in the same bay with them, so they kind of clear out. So you can shoot a lot when you're a member. Number 2 is you've got things like discounts on your gun cleanings, on your classes, on your pistols and your rifles. We'll send out an email on a Monday morning, let you know what's coming in this week, and you get first dibs and some membership pricing. And then lastly is when you come in, we get to know you. And so all of our instructors, all of our range officers are also certified instructors. So they get to know you, and you work with them all the time, and you just get free lessons all the time. And it's really like a clubby atmosphere. It's just a great place to be a member.
Well, listen, from before COVID to, after, I know that every time that I've come here, the staff has been absolutely wonderful. I'm not particularly knowledgeable about firearms. I know.
You mean you, not my staff. Right?
I'm not particularly knowledgeable. And so I have a lot of questions because there are no dumb questions when it comes to firearm safety. And the range safety officers and all of the staff have always been like, don't be shy, like ask us your question,
right.
And have been very encouraging. And it's been absolutely great. So, if that transfers into membership, and also honestly, I think having that 3-hour or 4-hour block on the weekend, that's really great because, they don't have to deal with people they're noobs such as myself.
Right. Well, listen, we welcome noobs all the time as walk-ins as well. And we're going to say, come in. We're the only range in Hudson County. We're the only place where you have a store, a school, and a range in the same place. It's a one-stop shop emporium. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're brand new, come on in. You'll leave in an hour. You'll know everything there is to know. So come to Hudson County. Come to Long Shot Pistol and Rifle. Be like Josh.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. It was definitely an honor and a privilege, my friend.
Good seeing you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse, back at the beautiful Maxwell Place Pier. We want to thank, of course, our very good friend Kevin Guarderas in the last segment. He also always does a phenomenal job. Unlike that bum who interviewed him, Josh Sotomayor Einstein. We never miss him. And if he's never on the show again, who cares, right? Anyway, a person that we're excited to have on the show today and thrilled to have on the show and hope that he comes back to the show more and more, making his Pulse premiere is my good friend Mike Greco. Mike, how are you today, sir?
I'm fine. How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing phenomenal. And might I add that it's finally great to have a good-looking guy on the air, unlike that
Thank
bum
you.
Josh in the last segment. I'm just not going to stop. Don't
Sorry,
worry.
Josh.
Exactly. All right, Mike.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you. And Mike comes all the way from up the hill up in Jersey City. So
That's right. Jersey City, born and raised.
That's what I like to hear, coming from a Hoboken born and raised. But I did go to high school in Jersey City, so Jersey City is very, very close to my heart. Mike, why don't you tell the audience a little bit of a background on yourself?
So, like Peter said, born and raised in Jersey City. That's where my heart is. I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 19 years. I love it. It's one of my passions. My other passion is music. It's always been music. So I'm a DJ. I've been a DJ since I was 14 years old. When I used to go to parties, I used to have an obsession with making people dance and playing the right things. So saved up for my own equipment, used to do little dances, things like that. Moved on to college. It was bars, clubs. Then it got a little too hectic when you have a kid. You can't stay out till 3 a.m, nor do you want to. It's hard to throw a ball around the next morning, being out all night. So my good friend opened up an events and entertainment company called Blue Line Productions. So that's where I currently work out now. I'm the main DJ there. And now we do all types of stuff, private events, galas, AV in New York City with a house act and the Low Boathouse in Central Park. And we actually were the DJ and AV company that did the Tony Awards this year. So a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Huge. And by the way, when he was 14 was only like 10 years ago. I mean, just
I wish.
a short decade ago. But I mean, you have to have a specific type of passion for it, in my opinion. So I guess, education and music goes hand in hand.
Yes.
And I guess in your profession and your other profession,
Right.
How does it go hand in hand?
Well, with the education, it's great because you always stay current with the music because the kids are always talking to me about music. I use it to kind of win favor with them. It works very well when you're talking about, the current artists, Bad Bunny, things like that. You really win them over like that. So I use it to my advantage. I also am able to do a lot of the school events, proms, things like that. At the end of the year, I like to give back to the community a lot in that sort of way. Last year, we know they were really shortchanged with the pandemic. So at my school, we threw them this huge kind of mini prom and pulled out all the stops. So it was a good way of me giving back to the community with the music.
That's fantastic. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there because when you can have, everybody knows that I have a full-time job also in the media business, but I do this part-time, and this is they're both my passions. And when you can kind of combine them, and intertwine them in a way, that's so important in my opinion. It really is.
It is.
So now, I mean, look, I feel like DJs are a dime a dozen. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that think they could be a good DJ, and then there's people that are just not. I would say the majority are not. But for doing it as long as you've been doing it, you have to be doing something right.
Yeah, so you do. Number one rule is you have to play what the client wants. You know what I mean? You're not there to play what you want unless that's the forum for it, but you tailor your art to the event. What I'm DJing for a Sweet 16 is not the same type of music that I'm going to play for a wedding. I'm very gifted at reading the crowd based on their age, their ethnicity, where they're from. So I use that to my advantage, and that's what a good DJ does. You're really playing to that crowd. They walk in the door, I'm eyeing them up, seeing, all right, they like 90s hip hop, or it's a reggaeton crowd. So I use that, and I kind of format my night, and everybody leaves happy. That's
phenomenal. That really, really is. And I'm I'm going to confess something, and the audience at home is probably going to make fun of me. You can send your emails at our email address. We'll put it at the bottom of your screen. I'm a big fan of Jersey Shore. The show Jersey Shore, that is.
We all were, right?
And I'm sure you and I have been fist pumping down to the Jersey Shore, in our heyday. Now I pull out like my tricep doing something like that. But anyway, DJ Pauly D.
Right.
I mean, here's a guy that literally started as a reality TV star and made it huge in Vegas.
Right.
I think he's worth like 40.
He's got a residency there, right?
Residency. $40, $50 million he's worth right now, and so on and so forth. But there's many, many people in your profession who are not that lucky. And so if there are young DJs at home watching this, which we do, believe it or not, I see them scrolling on our Instagram feed, what type of advice would you possibly give them?
First piece of advice I'll give them is invest in your equipment. Don't buy the cheapest equipment, because later on you're going to have to spend money double to buy the expensive equipment then. Invest right away in the best equipment. That's number one piece of advice. The second piece of advice is, like I said, you're there for the client. Your job is to make that crowd happy. You want that crowd to leave with passion, with energy. You want them to talk about you. You want them to post about you on social media. And most of all, you want the thanks. I do it most of all for the text I get the next day. Wow, our wedding is something we're never going to forget. A client recently told me that people still talk about his wedding that was about 5 years ago. That was the best wedding they ever had, and the music was the best they ever had. So you're there for the client. You're there for that energy, and that's your main
amazing.
purpose.
And I'm sure referrals are the absolute best way of compensation in a way.
Referrals and repeat business. If you're DJing a wedding, hopefully that wedding turns into a baby shower and a birthday and other parties down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Now, DJ Mike Greco, that is. Now I can actually call him that. I wanted to surprise the audience. And by the way, it rolls off. It's like the Pulse with Peter B. It rolls off the tongue very, very well. So I think you mentioned a lot of the different types of events you do. There's really nothing you don't do. You do it all.
No, we do it all, from small to big, from the birthday party to the gala for a major company in New York City. There's no gig too big, too small. We love it all.
And I have to ask you, I think you said that you DJ at school events.
I do,
you get like students that are like, oh my God, look at Mr. Greco.
Actually, I do, yeah. Like this past year, I just DJ'd McNair High School's prom, and people were coming up to me, and I had them when they were in 8th grade, and that's always pretty cool.
That's cool. I mean, it gives a little.
They respect it.
Exactly, and you're playing Bad Bunny. You know what I mean, or one of their favorite artists. And
they respect the connection that you're in. That part of their world is such a big part of your world. So.
And that's so important for educators out there. And we've had plenty of educators on. We actually had Dr. Johnson, the superintendent of schools, on a few weeks ago. And she spoke about the connections between teachers and their students and teachers and parents and things like that. But connecting through music on a whole nother level is absolutely phenomenal. Great job with that.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm your biggest cheerleader, I feel like.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, why don't we talk about where people can find more information about you? I'm going to open up the pier to you, this beautiful pier. Sure. I think you said you work with a company.
Yes.
So all your information, the camera's yours. But
So you can follow me at DJ Mike Greco on Instagram, as well as TikTok. You could also follow my company on Instagram at Blue Line Productions, LLC. I do most of the DJing for that company, and then if you need bigger events like pipe and drape, lighting, screens, the rest of the company, it's a great team with great vision. They do all of that. So DJ Mike Greco on Instagram and Blue Line Productions on Instagram.
I mean, my goodness, if he's doing award shows, why wouldn't you want to go see him? I mean, but really quick, because we do have a few seconds left here. That must have been an awesome experience.
Yeah, it was. So we were the official AV company for the Tony Awards. So as they won awards, they went into the 3 West Club behind Radio City and walked the red carpet, and we did the lighting, we did the background sound. It was pretty cool. It was a great experience.
Yeah, well, absolutely, folks. Book DJ Mike Greco for your next party. Come on now. I mean, I am now. I'm going to give his referral out to everybody, not only because I like him, but because I've seen his work, and you have a talent, sir.
Appreciate it, Peter.
Absolutely.
You do as well.
Thank you. I mean, thank you. I appreciate that too. Wow, that like rarely happens from a guest on the show. Somebody says that to me. Will you promise that you'll be back on a future show?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Really appreciate it again. Thanks so much. All right, folks. Join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.